Hi, everyone. Thanks for this great opportunity. My name is Victor. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Scrible, and we've built a Google-integrated, cloud-based research and writing platform for students and educators. As you can see there on this slide, we've been very fortunate to be backed by the National Science Foundation, and we're a Google for Education partner, which has been a really key part of our product as well as our go-to-market strategy. This is a company that I started because I frankly needed something like this when I was in school. And the problem that we're addressing is that there's a massive research and writing skills crisis going on in the country. Unfortunately, it's been pretty well documented now that a lot of our students that are graduating from secondary grades, so middle school and high school, are pretty terrible at doing online research, and are unfortunately, many of them not ready for college-level writing. This is a problem that starts pretty early in K-12, goes through higher ed, and unfortunately also bleeds into the workforce. We've actually been to lots of events around the country talking to basically hundreds of educators face-to-face, primarily in K-12. And what we've identified is a couple of places where we think we can add value. What we've seen is that basically students need a single platform to be able to structure, scaffold, and organize their work, rather than stringing together a bunch of different applications to do all the different things that are required when you're doing something like a research paper, which is a complex project, essentially, that requires curation, annotation, citation, et cetera. And on the other hand, teachers actually need a great sort of visibility into that workflow so they know which students are struggling, who's falling behind, who's procrastinating, et cetera. Those things, unfortunately, today don't really exist in a single platform that makes all this really easy, but we've built that. So let's take a quick walk through an example of how our stuff works, because it's a very visual system, and I'd rather spend a little time on product so you really know what it is. Let's say that you're writing a paper in 10th grade science class about space exploration. You're on the web, and you find an interesting article that you want to basically use as a source in your paper. You would use our Chrome extension to be able to load our toolbar on top of any page on the internet. We also work with PDFs now as well. With that, you can richly annotate the article with different colors and styles right in the browser. So you don't have to print articles out anymore. You can really highlight, add notes, et cetera, directly in the browser. You can flag important passages that you might want to quote later in your paper, for example. We've also baked in a full-service citation capture capability. So if you can, I know there's enough people here that are old enough that remember the old way of doing this. It's super painful. We actually automatically extract citation information directly from the article, so we can automate a lot of the painful tedium of generating a citation and doing the bibliography later downstream in the workflow when you're writing your paper. When you're ready, you can go to your library in the cloud, which we call your Scribble library, to quickly be able to find all the stuff that you've saved. This could be PDFs, there could be web pages. Everything gets full text indexed and becomes full text searchable. You can also use filters and tags to organize all the stuff that you've seen and you've saved. Later, when you're downstream in the writing process, you can actually use our Google Docs integration, which allows you to quickly search using keywords everything that's in your library. We show you a set of search results. You can quickly click on any of those and bring them into the paper. We put it in quotes, and we insert an in-text parenthetical citation at the end. So we take a lot of the tedium and the pain out of the process that we all had to suffer through. That's on the student side. The beauty of that is that we can take all that interesting timestamp data about student progress and make it available to teachers in real time, so that for the first time ever, they actually have visibility into what has historically been a black box. And so what we're really doing is enabling teachers both at the classroom level and the individual student level to be able to get visibility into a process that they've never really had before, because this work historically has been done by students at home, offline, and over a long period of time. And that's really powerful, because what we're doing is we're playing on a really important trend in education right now, which is personalized learning. Without data, you can't make intelligent decisions about which students to support or where they're getting stuck. We happen to capture a lot of data that has historically been lost to the ether or just isn't captured. We can make that available to teachers now to basically give them better data to make better decisions about who to support and which kids to spend time with. Our traction's pretty great. We have a lot of educators that have signed up on the platform. We have gobs of testimonials we can share with you from different educators from different parts of the country across grade levels and subjects that talk about how this is really great for helping students prepare for college-level writing and some of the new standardized testing around writing. We actually were freemium for a long time. We just launched our paid product last year. We actually now have traction with some of the largest districts in the country. We launched our paid product, had initial school sales at the end of the last sales cycle. This is the first real sales cycle that we're in market with the paid product, and we're expecting a pretty significant rise in annual recurring revenue as a result of that this year. Lastly, I'll just end with the fact that we've been very fortunate to be backed by some really great backers, particularly angel investors, aside from the NSF and Google. So some of these names you may recognize. They're basically notable names in education technology and technology. So that's it. Obviously happy to take some questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Scribble. Good job. So questions from the judges. We have time for about 2.
Could you talk a little bit more about your user acquisition strategy, either at the school level or at the educator or student level?
Yeah, so it's a freemium model. So a lot of it, frankly, has been word of mouth, things that we haven't actually proactively invested in. And we're raising some money now, and we've had a little bit of funding in the past, but most of our spend has not been on marketing. So a lot of it's been sort of word of mouth growth, where we'll hear about somebody that'll say, hey, I heard about you at a local conference. And a lot of the events, a lot of the things we've done thus far have frankly just been going to events to try to understand educators' needs face to face. What we'd like to do going forward, which is a little bit different, is actually shift that so that we're doing more things that are more scalable in terms of SEO, basically online sort of targeted advertising and things like that, because we think, frankly, that's going to be a much more scalable way of going. The last thing I'll say is that for our go-to-market strategy going forward, we're actually using a channel strategy to basically leverage partners, so resellers basically that are part of the Google ecosystem, to help bring new schools and districts to us that we wouldn't necessarily have the resources to go after on our own.
Great job. Thank you very much.